This is a Rogue Media Network production.
Welcome back to the show. You know, there is something magical when a child hears a live orchestra from the first time. And I've had the privilege for many, many years of having a front row seat to seeing children hear those first strains of an orchestra. And that's thanks to the Children's Concert Series, sponsored by the Waco Symphony Council and performed by the amazing Baylor Symphony Orchestra. And I'm delighted to welcome to the show today Jeffrey Grogan. And you have recently come back to Baylor as head of the orchestra. Now you have a very formal title, and I can never remember what it is. But
I'm still. It doesn't roll off the tongue.
it doesn't. It doesn't. So it is
Mary Franks Thompson Professor of Orchestral Studies.
There you go. There you go. Well, it is a delight to have you here because the whole idea of children's concerts is something very near and dear to your heart. And I'm excited to get to know more about your experience and background with that and just your earlier days in Waco at Baylor. So first of all, welcome and
Thank you.
tell me a little bit about yourself. When did you want to go into music?
Well, it was clear to me when I saw Star Wars between my fourth and fifth grade year.
Oh, yeah.
And the only way to relive the movie back then was to buy the 2-record set.
Oh, yes.
So I would listen to it for literally 3 hours, 4 hours a night on my dad's stereo, and eventually started conducting. And every time I conducted the London Symphony, they sounded great.
Didn't they sound good?
So that was the beginning of it, and I knew that was, I was just completely hooked from that point forward. But my elementary school teacher also took us to see the Dallas Symphony growing up.
Oh, so you grew up where?
Cedar Hill, Texas,
Cedar Hill,
outside of
okay.
Dallas.
All right. Were you a musician? Did you start taking piano in the second grade or?
No, started with a band in the 6th grade,
Okay.
like so many of us in Texas, and that's kind of where my musical journey
Okay.
began.
And your instrument of choice?
French horn,
Very good.
yes.
Very good. So you got to Baylor. Tell me about
Uh,
your time at Baylor
sure.
before this
Yeah.
recent iteration.
I was associate director of bands and director of the Golden Wave Marching Band.
Bugwub.
An organization that's still near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, there's 6 of those students from that time. I teach their 3 children at Baylor now. So
Make you feel old?
it does, but it's also
It's good.
it's a really good feeling. And
Mhm.
and my dear colleague at the time, Stephen Hyde, was the person that was really giving my experience early on with orchestra,
Mhm.
and he gave me my first experience conducting the Baylor Symphony during that time. I was doing sectionals for his pieces, but then eventually with the Waco Symphony,
Yeah.
I conducted the Sorcerer's Apprentice by Dukas.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah.
Well, he gave me my opportunity to way more than 20 years ago. I've kind of forgotten how many years. I know the first the big piece in that concert was Tubby the Tuba. That had a lot of
Right.
narration, so he
Yes.
asked me to do that, and there was a little time I'd lead out in a song or something because we had 4th and 5th graders. Just so everybody understands what the children's concert series is, and that is for 4th and 5th graders throughout Central Texas, and there'll be a total of 6,000 of them come for 3 different concerts during the day. This is all going to be happening on Thursday the 5th, so we're a week out. So I'm pretty excited about this year's concert. So tell me about it. What will be on it?
Well, it's basically we're going to tie it into emotions and the different pieces and how to experience those emotions through the music that we play.
Mhm.
We're playing most.
This is a Rogue Media Network production.
Welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about stories, the ones you cannot put down, the ones we recommend to our friends, and the ones that just stay with us long after we've closed that book and turned the last page. Well, joining us is my good friend Elizabeth Barnhill, and it is so good to have you back. I've been looking forward to it's been too long.
It has been too long,
It's been a little life has gotten in the way because I
yes,
wanted to have you on like real regular. So we're still
yes,
regular.
we're working on it. Yes,
We're working on that. But you are the adult book buyer at Fabled Bookshop and Cafe, and
yes,
it's one of Waco's most popular places to go and browse and um, just immerse yourself in the literary. And if you've ever walked into Fabled and wondered, those big tables in the front, how they're filled with just the right books, this is the
yes.
lady that helps curate all that and just a delight.
It is so much fun to do that and to pick those big display tables. We really want to have timely and fun displays just to make it inviting to come to the shop. And yes, it's so much fun getting to pick books that I'm hoping that Wacoans will love and appreciate.
Well, and you are an avid reader, and so
Mhm.
you're going to go over a few titles that you have
Yes,
enjoyed
always.
for us to think about. And I brought a few books that I want to talk about as well. And you've got some great events. You've always got lots of things going on at Fabled.
We do, and I just want to make sure that everyone knows about them. And the thing that makes me sad is when people say, "Oh, if I'd only known about it,
I would have been
I would
there.
have been there."
Yeah, oh, I
So
love that author. So
yes,
yes, absolutely need to let everybody. Well, so let's go ahead and just do it right off the bat. We're
okay,
looking at Texas Independence Day coming up on Monday, the
yes,
2nd of March. And so
yes.
you've got a big event.
We do have a big event, a big Texas extravaganza, and Sarah Bird will be here. She's a
Ah,
wonderful Texas
I
author.
know her. I've interviewed her. You got Sarah coming.
Oh, wonderful!
Okay. I
Yes,
got to be there.
you
I
need
got to
to
be
be
there.
there.
Oh, she'll be
Yes,
surprised to see me walk in the door.
I know. Yes, well, I would love that too.
Yeah.
But
Which book? Which I know because she's written several.
she's got a brand new one. I know the Starlight Pier was one that was very
Right.
popular.
Hmm.
The new one escapes me at the moment, but if you look on Fabled's website under the events, it'll tell you exactly the book she will be
Okay.
speaking about.
Yeah.
And we always have a really fun big Texas display. It does so well, especially in March, not only for Texas Independence Day, but we have so many people coming in for spring break and they
Hmm.
want a souvenir for their visit to Texas.
Yeah.
So
What better than a book?
I know. Well, that's
Really?
that's what
Yeah.
I think. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're excited about that on March the 2nd.
Uh-huh.
Another thing that we love is our big winter preview. And I've talked about the previews before, where Allison Frenzel and I will talk about the best books coming out January through April this year, which is always my favorite season for new books.
Really, is that when the authors are just prolific and
Well, it's more, this is when they take a chance on debut authors
oh,
and some things that are a little more under the radar. I just feel like invariably when I look back at the year of my favorite books, it's always books that come out really in March, April, and May, this
hmm
time frame. So this is my favorite time of year for that. Fall time is more the heavy hitters, the cookbooks, the celebrity memoirs, but this is
mm,
a
hmm.
little more my speed. But that also you can sign up on our website. We usually have 1,000 to 1,200
I've
people.
done it before. It is
Yes,
so much fun.
yes, it's
And you get a
wonderful.
little discount on books you
That's
order
right.
too.
You get paid to listen to us talk about books. So that is St. Patrick's Day. So you
Awesome.
can enjoy wear green and watch us virtually. So that's one that I would not miss.
Hmm.
Another thing we're so excited about is our book lover weekend, and this one it's April the 10th through the 12th. And there's a cost with this. It's like a retreat,
Oh,
but we have absolutely fantastic authors coming in from all over the country to speak and to talk to people, and we'll do book buying appointments. I will be doing a podcast with the Currently Reading podcast, which New York Times just named one of the top 7 book podcasts to listen to.
look at you.
I
Congratulations.
know. About that. If you know of anybody who's a reader and or want to maybe have some friends come with you, it's going to be a fantastic event. We still have a couple of spots left, so definitely look
I would,
into that.
yeah, I would think that space would be limited.
It is very limited, but we still have just a few more seats left, and we would love to have some Wacoans come
Oh, yeah.
along. I can't remember. I think we had something like 20 different states represented last year when we did this.
Awesome.
Yeah, and people made good friends, and it was really, really fun.
Yeah, quite a community of
Yes.
book lovers.
Yes. Now, for all the history buffs out there, we're very excited to have John Bacon come on April the 28th.
Okay.
Now, he wrote the book, The Great Halifax Explosion, which is a fantastic narrative nonfiction book a few years ago that talks about the explosion in the second largest natural harbor in the world in 1917. That's a backlist of his. The one that everyone is going crazy over right now is The Gales of November, which is all about the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, which
I think you talked about that book.
I
didn't you,
did,
on
I
this,
did.
on this show.
it was my favorite nonfiction of the year.
Yeah.
And bookstores have been clamoring to get him to do events, and we are so excited that
him.
he's coming. So
Yeah.
if you're a history buff, if you've got a history buff in your life, if you're a bring your dad, bring your husband to this event. It's going to be really, really good. He's visiting us. I think he's from Michigan, so that'll be a great one. And last but not least, we have Sally Hepworth coming. She is, and this is going to be the Weekend of Festival on the Brazos. So that is April the 24th.
Yeah, usually.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Friday, April 24th.
Okay.
And she is an Australian domestic thriller writer. She wrote a book years ago called The Mother-in-Law that was super popular. She's hysterical. We've had her come before, and she's doing a little bit of an American tour.
Oh, good.
Stopping at Fabled. So check out all of those on our website. Again, Fabled Bookshop. We got a lot going on. Those are just a few of the highlights. If you just look at events or sign up for our newsletter, you'll hear all about those.
You've got a lot of local authors, though. I know you've got
Yes.
an event with local authors, and I just left a meeting with one of my favorite local authors, and that's Keith Brown, who's been on the show, and her book, Counterfeit Culture,
Yes.
talking about them coming out of homestead heritage.
Yes.
And she's going to have a book signing, I believe, on the Sunday, the 29th
Yes.
of March.
Yes, we've got that. We've got her coming. I picked that book up. I've heard a lot of people talking about how much they love
There's
it.
a lot of buzz.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I picked it up, and one of the managers at the shop looked at it and said, I don't recognize this book. And someone just walked up and said, I'll take that one. So it's been quite a
Yeah.
popular one.
You need to stock this one.
Oh, yes, for sure.
For sure.
We have definitely stocked it, and
good.
we're excited to have her come to Fabled.
Yeah, she's precious. Yeah, she's just so transparent and natural, and just love it and love the book.
Yes.
So, shall we talk about some other books? One event that was just incredible earlier
Yeah.
this month. Your husband had a lot to do with.
He sure did.
Right?
Yes.
He chaired the symphony in the city. This was I can't remember the full name of it.
Savor the Symphony.
Savor the Symphony.
Yes. Yes.
And we did.
savored the symphony.
Fabulous. It was fabulous. And we had the wonderful Frances Mays come, who wrote Under the Tuscan Sun.
Yes.
And so you had some books there. She was there with us
Yes. Oh,
to
my
talk
goodness.
about, well,
Yeah.
Italy, and just how wonderful.
I'm still basking in the glow of that wonderful weekend. And when my husband agreed to do the fundraising part of the symphony, I told him, that's great. I'm not doing it for you. You're going to do it. And he did a wonderful job.
Oh,
he loved
man.
it. He loved it. Yes.
He may have found a permanent job if
I
he's
know.
not careful.
So he loved, and he got excited about it. And we talked to a celebrity publicist about who we could maybe get to come to Waco. And this person suggested Frances Mays, because we wanted to do a night of Tuscan food and Italian wine. So Frances, of course, wrote Under the Tuscan Sun, among many others. She's written fantastic cookbooks.
Well, yeah, and I got her cookbook too.
Oh, I got
the
several.
Tuscan Sun cookbook.
That's such a good one.
Yeah.
But we got to enjoy, and I said, well, that's great. Let's have her come to the symphony, but I'd love to have a public event the night before at Fabled. So she did an
Yes.
event for us. It was we had standing room only in the shop, and Frances is 85 years old, still curious, still engaged. Her husband was wonderful. And
he was loads of fun.
he was so much fun, and we took him to the Red Herring Restaurant and Milo in 1928.
Oh, yeah.
And
You hit the good spots.
we did, and Carolyn Bess, who is our wonderful symphony director, had the great idea to take them on a tour of the Armstrong Browning Library.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yes, so we had a private tour,
Oh,
and to say they were gobsmacked is not quite the words.
that does not surprise me because the Armstrong Browning Library is wonderful.
It is. And if you have not been, I would highly recommend
I know.
you
You're
just
singing
see.
my song. I'm always telling people to
Yes.
go, even Baylor graduates, young
Mhm.
people who've come out of Baylor and gone, I never walked in that building. I went,
Yes.
no, what?
Yes, and we talk about the room that launched 1,000 wedding portraits. You
Oh,
know,
what-
I've got mine there,
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Carolyn did, and but Frances and Ed were, of course, I just think of them entertaining these fabulous people at their Tuscan villa. They loved Waco, and I could tell this was not a just kind. They were truly
Yeah.
impressed. And if you're on Substack, she has a Substack called "Proceed to the Route,"
Okay.
proceed to the route, to the route.
To the right, to the right.
And it is a love affair to Waco. I sent it to the
Oh.
Wacoan and to several people and just say, look what people are saying about our wonderful city.
Mm.
So I have loved the cookbook. There are several things in this cookbook that I'm dying to make for my book club. Her mushroom lasagna was something I will never forget, and the
Mm.
eggplant. So
And we enjoyed food that was prepared by Billy Garrett.
Yes.
But it was her recipes.
yes, we
wasn't it?
were so
Yeah,
happy
so-
that Billy agreed to do this, and he had fun looking through her cookbooks, and she helped. Frances also helped with picking out the wines from Italy. They were brought down, so those were great. And again, it's just one of those weekends that made you proud to be a Wacoan.
Oh, it was wonderful, and it was highly successful. And
Yes.
so I couldn't have been more proud of everybody involved and
Mhm.
how it does help our beloved symphony.
Yes,
as
I
well.
know. We do love the symphony.
Yeah. Well, of course, you just run in these circles, though, Elizabeth. I mean, you get to meet and talk to these wonderful authors, and so we're going to take a little break. But when we come back, I want to hear about some of the books that you're recommending
Mhm.
now to read.
Oh,
So
of course.
stay with us. There's more of the show ahead.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Online certification is a quick and convenient way to gain industry-recognized credentials. Select your ACLS course. Print your ACLS certificate. You can print your certification wallet card. aclsnow.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Start your healing journey today at globalhealing.com and organichemp.com.
Designed to elevate the off-road experience, enabling adventurers to conquer any terrain. For 50 years, you've trusted us on your toughest recoveries, to your most breathtaking destinations, and in countless unforgettable memories.
And we're back with Elizabeth Barnhill, and you've got some books here to talk to us about. And that first one you picked up, My Book Club, has it on the list. We have not read it yet, but so we're a little slow. I think because I think everybody in the world's probably read Theo of Golden.
I think so. And what is so phenomenal about this book is we started hearing little rumblings about it last year. I know I brought it to Brazos Forum to sell, and I heard it was a quiet, sweet book, and I thought, well, that's good. It's always good to have one of those
Quiet and sweet. Yeah.
quiet and sweet.
Yeah.
And it's just started gaining more and more momentum. And
Mhm.
I was curious about it. So I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and read it, even though I usually don't, if it's already been released, I don't go back and read it. But I thought, I'm actually going to listen to this book. I listened to the book and decided that in my entire life, this is a top 5 favorite book of my entire life.
Elizabeth.
This
That's
is
pretty
saying
high
a lot.
That is saying a lot.
Considering that Alan is a debut author, he's nearly 70 years old, and he just wrote the most beautiful book. I listened to it, immediately turned around and listened to it again, which I don't ever
You
reread a
don't
book.
do that either.
I have no time for that.
Yeah.
And I picked up on so many more things the second time around. This is a book, Theo of Golden, and this is Golden, Georgia. It's a small town in
Okay.
Georgia, a fictitious town, but it's a
Okay.
man named Theo who's in his 80s and mysteriously comes to live in Golden for a year. And he will make you want to be a better person. I think it's the book that everyone needs to read right now, and it's mostly about loving your neighbors, taking care of people, listening to people, not judging them, finding them where they are. And I love it. I actually did an Instagram post on this, and there were 110,000 views on it. It's just a book that everyone is loving. I know Oprah talked about it recently.
Oh,
Katie
it's got all
Couric
the
picked it.
buzz. Yeah.
This is one that you are not going to want to miss, and I can't
Yeah.
wait to hear what you think about it. But I've said that at Fabled, all I want for the rest of my time at Fabled, I can retire a happy woman when Alan Levi comes to Waco, and I'm going to make
Oh,
sure it
you're
happens.
working on that?
I'm working on it. He's not touring anymore right
I was
now.
going to say he's elderly. Yeah.
Well, and he's writing the sequel to the book right now. So
Well, so he's busy.
so he's busy. But then I said, well,
Good.
next time, when you have a next tour, I really want him to come. So,
Um,
if you're the very few people who have not heard it or read it,
I have not.
you need to read it right
Yeah.
now. Drop everything and read it. I gave it to my father for Christmas. He called me and could hardly talk about it without choking up. It's just
Really?
it's a wonderful, wonderful story. Yes.
I love that. I love that.
Yes.
Well, and I think the first time you came to do this with me, you brought a book called The Correspondent, which
Yes.
my book club finally did. I mean,
Yes.
I'd been wanting to read it because you did not oversell that one. I mean, that one was really, really, really good.
Well, and that's also a debut for an
Mhm.
older woman. No, she's not older. She's in her, I think, 40s. But
Yeah.
to start off, that's
Yeah.
a decent age for that, for it
Right.
to be a debut. And what I'm finding, first of all, it's the number one book that any bookstore with our point of sale system, which is the biggest one out there. This is the number one book selling right now. Is The
Mhm.
Correspondent.
Correspondent, yeah.
And we're finding in our catalogs that there's a lot of stationery. People are getting very, very
Oh,
excited about writing letters
Writing
again.
letters.
And I love that. I always say
That is good.
when Brian and we've been married for 30 years, but when we were dating, we wrote letters to each other, and I have them all, and I get to keep those. And you don't get to do that with text messages or stories or whatnot. So
Emails,
it's just
yeah.
it's a permanent thing. It can be. And
Mhm.
so The Correspondent is really changing a lot of how we're communicating, I think, in our country.
In a good way. Going
In a good
back.
way.
Going back.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And that was also one of my top 5 favorites of the year. It
Uh-huh.
was just
I knew it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
just
was.
these books are I think there's something in us right now that is just needing peace and calm
Yeah.
and kindness, and we can find that in these wonderful stories.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And speaking not of peace and calm, I have a wonderful thriller called It Should Have Been You by Andrea Mara.
Mm.
Now, Andrea Mara, I've got to interview her before. She's an Irish crime fiction novelist, and I adore her. I read one of her books called All Her Fault that came out, and you couldn't get it in the United States. When I found it, it finally got to our country. and became a Netflix show. So if
Oh.
it's one that Brian and I started watching, and he couldn't believe how good it was.
Mhm.
So she's got a way of writing these horrifying stories, and it's not like blood and guts
Gruesome.
horrifying. It's
Yeah.
more about what would I do in this situation?
Mm.
So in this story, we find a woman who is in a neighborhood group chat, which, wow, that's very interesting. And there's a woman who is kind of just being a little persnickety in this group chat.
Mhm.
And our main character has a newborn. She's exhausted. And she's got a sister who was also on this group chat. And the main character's like, I'm so tired of this woman, texting her sister, I'm so tired of this woman. Who does she think she is? Her husband is doing this. Her kids are doing this, la, la, la. And she hits send. The next thing you know, her sister is running over to her house saying, erase what you just put in the group chat. She accidentally sent this text to the group chat and not to her sister about how awful this woman was.
Oh,
The next thing you know, the next morning,
like unringing a bell. You can't do
yes,
it.
there are several people who are no longer living, and it's because of this group chat. So
Oh
I always
my
say,
gosh.
and I love Liz Nugent is another one of my favorite authors, and she's
Mhm.
blurbed this: "May you never live in a neighborhood created by Andrea Mara." So I just adore her. I think she's getting every one of her books. I think this is her third book now that it's come out in the United States. She's getting bigger and bigger, and
Mhm.
I love Irish. Irish stories are so hot right now.
Yeah.
This is one that
So
you
it's
would.
set in Ireland?
It is set in Ireland.
Okay.
And it's a universal story of a
Mhm.
crazy group chat neighborhood HOA. Very, very good.
Okay.
All right, and the final one I want to talk to you about is Meet the Newmans by Jennifer Niven. And this one is sort of, it's historical fiction. And I would say if you love lessons in chemistry, this would be a good story. So the Newmans are Dell and Dinah. And Dell and Dinah Newman are like Ozzie and Harriet, where they have a real life family that has a fictitious, or has a show on TV in the 1950s.
Okay. Yeah.
They have a 12-year run where in the 1950s, she's this the sweet little housewife who's wearing the pearls and her apron and
Yes,
always has her hair perfect.
Right.
But toward the end of this is beginning like the late 1960s when women's roles are changing and the show has been canceled.
Mm-hmm.
It's had its run, but there's an event that happens where Dinah really has to kind of take the bull by the horns and finish the show out strong. So it's her kind of coming into her own during that first wave of feminism, or is it second wave? I don't know what the 1960s was. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of
probably
one
the
of those
first-
waves.
Probably the first wave.
I would say
I mean,
first
if you're
wave.
not counting the right to vote.
Yes,
I mean,
that's what I'm thinking.
That was
It's-
way further.
Yes.
Before,
but
yeah.
it was just a really interesting story. And I love the 1960s
Mhm.
and also the TV shows from that era.
I do
and
too. I love the furniture and the fashions.
Yes, all of
And I
it.
think of That Girl and all that kind of
Yes.
stuff. Yeah.
And this is also a women helping women story, and I
Mhm.
always like that. So I really love Meet the Newmans. I think it would be a great book club selection, and it's a little
Yeah.
bit under the radar. So I just
Mhm.
thought it was fantastic.
Uh-huh.
I love the colors, the blue and the pink and the blue.
That's wonderful. So how many books do you read, say in a month's time?
Well,
Or does
I
that
usually I would say it's around 200 a year.
Okay.
And every season, so I'm just wrapping up, of course, with our winter review. I'm starting all of my summer books, and I usually have about 50 of them that I read from each season, maybe 60.
Okay.
And then there's always a couple in there that I throw in that are older books. But yeah, the thing is that the machine has to keep going, and I'm always wanting to be on the front end of one of those fabulous books that no one knows about yet, like The Correspondent or Thea
Oh,
with
man.
Golden. Yes.
Well, and it's daunting. If you go into a bookstore, there are so many books,
Mhm.
and the covers are pretty.
Yes,
You know, and if
so
you're-
pretty.
If you're going to buy wine because of the label, it's
Yes,
like, You don't want
exactly.
to invest in a book yeah, and it's wonderful to have someone like you who've read it and really can recommend, and this is why I recommend it, and that so it's such a great service that you all
Yes.
provide at Fabled.
I always say I like to take one for the team. I'm trying to find all the walking through the weeds to find the sunflowers. And you can find all my recommendations on Waco
Because
Reads.
I bet you have read some real dogs too.
Oh, I could tell a few stories. Yes, yes, I have. But again, it's always that search for the next fantastic book. And it's so important to me that every book in our shop are ones that we can happily recommend. I don't read them all, but I feel good about the ones we have in the shop. And yes, I love recommending good books. I think it's what I was meant to do.
Well, yeah, we have talked about that before, that you have just truly found your niche of what your calling is and your passion,
Yes.
obviously, for reading. Are there any other under the radar books that you, off the top of your head, that people just aren't aware of that should
Finder's Secret by A.D. Bell, and that's a little bit of a literary historical mystery. If you liked The 13th Tale or Shadow of the Wind, sort of a gothic tale where there's a mystery inside of the binding of a book. It takes place in Oxford in the early 1900s. That's one I really enjoyed. And I will say, I want everyone to know that in April, I think it's the or maybe March, it may be coming out this week. Lady Tremaine, I think it is March the 3rd. It's
Okay,
coming out.
okay,
Lady
yeah, yeah.
Tremaine by Rachel Hockhauser.
Lady
I
Tremaine?
do think it may be my favorite book of the year. And she is coming to Book Lover Weekend. We got her on the front end.
Oh, good.
So it's a reimagining of Cinderella's The Wicked Stepmother in Cinderella. And as we read, we think, you know what, maybe she isn't as wicked as we thought she was. But it was really good. It's sort of historical fiction, a little bit of an altered fairy tale. And I don't read a lot of fairy tale
Fantasy
fantasies.
kind of thing,
No,
yeah.
this is more historical fiction.
Oh.
It is utterly fantastic. I don't know anyone who hasn't absolutely loved it.
Really?
Lady
Okay.
Tremaine.
Well, that's fun. Well, so do you have a genre that you particularly love?
I would say that my 3 favorite genres are mystery thriller. Um,
And why is that?
I've read them my whole life.
Okay.
Nancy Drew. I love I love a
Okay.
puzzle. I love that adrenaline rush of trying to figure it out.
Okay.
I love literary fiction like Theo of Golden, like The Correspondent, just a well-written story, feel-good story. And honestly, I love nonfiction, narrative nonfiction, really well-told history books, the dad books of the world. I love a good dad book. So, and I love reading cookbooks. I love reading almost everything. I don't read a lot of poetry. I don't read a lot of self-help or sci-fi fantasy. That's not really, and not every now and then a romance will slip into my
Oh, really?
reading.
So that's not really.
I like a heart rendering, like an ache in your heart type of romance. I don't like the rom-coms.
Yeah.
And
silly kind of.
yeah, and people
Which
love
they're
them.
fun. They're right. They're entertainment.
And they're hugely popular.
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
just not for me. So my
Okay.
publicists know. I'll say whatever the rom-coms are, just tell me what to get. They all look the same to me. Tell me the ones that everyone's talking about, and those are the ones I get for the store.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, what is it about a book that makes it stick with readers?
I love a uniquely told story, like a book within a book, or a unique perspective. And I love characters we can root for, like Theo, or like
Yeah.
Sybil in the Correspondent. But we always, and I've said this before, it's the windows and mirrors. We want to find books that look like us, that we can really relate to, and then ones where that'll create empathy for other cultures, other people. So that's what I'm always looking through that lens with at Fabled. And sometimes it's just dumb luck. Who knows why a book hits when it does, when it's timely. But that's what I look for.
Yeah. Are there some that you thought, I mean, this should just be huge, and it just didn't get traction?
I think another thing that I notice is when you have a book, let's say like Gone Girl, that was one where right in the middle of it, you're just gobsmacked by where
Mhm.
the story goes. Then all of a sudden you start finding copycats, and you'll find a million of those, and they're
Yeah.
all like, "Oh, if you love Gone Girl, you'll love
You'll love
this."
this. Yeah.
And I don't like I like to be surprised the first time rather than hearing the third or fourth or 20th iteration of
Yeah.
whatever the hot thing is. And again, that could just be because I read 200 books a year. That gets a little repetitive.
Right.
Yes. And some people love that. Like, I love how Gone Girl is. I only want to read books that are like this. So we're all so vastly different as
we have
readers.
different tastes, and that's what's so great about Fabled Bookshop. You've got something for everybody.
Yes.
So, what are your hours there?
I'm just sort of in and out.
Mhm.
I'm there every week, and if you ever want to meet with me, I do free complimentary book buying
Mhm.
appointments. You can find that information on our website, or you can direct message me at Waco Reads on Instagram. And I do those all the time. We have people flying into Waco on Friday night, and I'm going to meet them and walk them around. So
Oh,
it's
good.
different all the time, but I'm there. I'm there most of the time.
Yeah, well, that's great, and open 6 days a week. Not
Yes. No,
Not open on
actually,
Sunday?
we're open 7 days a week.
Oh, you are open on
I
Sundays too?
Yes, but it's, I think, 12 or 1.
okay.
I think
Well, I guess
12.
that's right because Keith's book signing is on.
Yes. So I
So,
think it's
yeah,
about 9
on
to
a Sunday.
9, maybe every single day. I'm not there
Okay.
at 9 at either the front end or the back end.
I got you. I got you. That's good.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's go over those dates again as we close. Coming up on Monday, the 2nd, Texas
Yes.
Independence Day. I can't wait to see Sarah. I'm
I
looking forward to
know.
Sarah Bird. Yeah.
Yes, that'll be great.
Yeah. She did a fabulous book on black rodeos.
Yes.
I mean, that was one of the last books that I know of that she had done, and it was a collection of photographs that she took years and years
Mhm.
ago. And during COVID, she pulled this box of photography she'd pulled out from under her bed, and it became a book. Many years ago, nobody wanted to publish a book about black rodeos,
Yeah.
but her photography is fabulous.
Oh, I
So
love that.
yeah, oh yeah, it's wonderful as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, she's a great writer. In fact, I follow her on Facebook, and she was talking about planning her next book. So
Yes. Yeah.
so she's
We love to support those wonderful Texas authors too.
yes, right,
Yes.
lives in the Austin area.
Yes. So March 17th, we have the Winter Book Review. April 24th, we have Sally Hepworth. April 28th, we have John Bacon. I think those are the ones I had
Mhm.
said earlier. But yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Well, always a lot of things going on. And again,
Yes.
where do you go to find out all the information?
it's fabledbookshop.com.
All right.
We'll have
And you
it
can
all there.
sign up for the big conflab, the big
Yes. The book review.
Mhm, the big book review.
Yes,
That's in April, you said.
That is March the 17th.
Oh, March. Oh, yeah. That's
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patty's Day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Right. All right. Get all in my head.
There's a lot of dates to think
A
about.
lot of things,
Yes.
but yes, it's all good. So, and anytime you just want to kill some time, go and stroll through and get a cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee, a glass of wine, can take you from morning till night.
You got it. Elizabeth,
Yes.
thank you so much. It's a joy.
Good to see you too.
Stay with us. There is more of the show ahead.
For anyone that's in the car buying mode or looking for a car right now or a truck, I would definitely come by Allen Samuels, get to know the people here like I have, how well I'm taking care of the dealership and how well, service and any kind of warranty issues or those sort of things. Because of the way they take care of me, it's made me a Ram driver. And so I don't think they'd want to go anywhere else if they came here.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best.
Welcome back to the show. My next guest is the one who has a story that reminds us. It doesn't always unfold. Life doesn't always unfold the way you think it's going to. And Lori Vober is an author, speaker, a stroke survivor, and adoptive mom of 3. And she has a story of perseverance and just facing challenges head on that come your way in life. So happy to have you with us via Zoom. You are in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes, thank you so much, Anna. I appreciate you having me on here.
And of course, we were talking about Fabled Bookshop, and we both love it. So you've been to Fable before, huh?
I have, yes. Oh, what a wonderful bookshop. It truly is.
Well, and they certainly highlight some of the most amazing, wonderful authors. And I'm so thrilled to get to visit with you about your story because you are a stroke survivor. Um, tell us though a little bit about your life before the stroke happened, and that was now many years ago.
Yes, ma'am. So I actually was born in Georgia, but I moved around all my life. And so I actually consider Texas home because I spent my high school years in Texas. And up until we moved to Arizona, it was the longest place I ever lived my entire life. I graduated from the University of Texas in Austin. I was part of the Longhorn Marching Band for 4 years. So I truly believe my roots being in Texas. And I have come back every year for the past several years to be part of a special event in Dallas called the Christian Communicator Speaker Conference. And so many of my speaker and author friends are from Texas. But I was married in Minnesota. My career took me from Texas to Oklahoma to Minnesota in the petroleum industry. I met my husband in Minnesota in January of 1997, and I had no idea when I said yes to this job promotion to run 6 gas stations in Minnesota, what that actually looked like as a Southern gal until I got there and I thought, oh my goodness, I have no idea how to live in this much snow and this cold tundra. And I met what is now my husband, Danis, and he knew immediately that I was not going to stay and I was headed back to Texas. And he thought, well, I have 2 choices. I can either follow her, which he didn't want to do, or I can ask her to marry me. So after dating for 6 weeks, he asked me to marry him. And I thought to myself, as he's standing there with a ring, I could say yes with a long engagement or say no and make a really huge mistake. And so I said yes with a long engagement, and we're going on 28 years of marriage. And 5 years, though, into that marriage in Minnesota, I had a pretty massive hemorrhagic stroke. And there's 2 types of strokes. One is the most common, which is the blood clot type stroke, which
Hmm.
many have. And then the second type is the type I had, which only 13% have a hemorrhagic stroke, and only 50% live through a hemorrhagic stroke. So I truly believe God had a purpose for my survival. And for those that do survive, only 20% go on to live an independent life. So I take that pretty seriously that He has a plan for me. And we moved 6 months post-stroke from Minnesota to Arizona. He worked for Northwest Airlines, so he's part of the aviation industry. And at that time, that was after September 11th, so a lot of changes in that industry. So he lost his job 6 months post-stroke, and so we moved to Arizona. And we've been in Arizona since July of 2003. And I have had just an amazing recovery. I still have a disability on my left side. If you saw me in person, you would see half my body doesn't function completely. I still only have use of my majority of my right hand. And I do walk with a limp, but God has been so incredibly amazing to me and giving me great purpose and drive and resilience. And I am an author now and a speaker, and I'm very passionate about encouraging others, specifically those that have gone through unplanned challenges and health challenges.
Well, when you began suffering from that stroke, you were working for a church, and even the
Yes, ma'am.
circumstance of where you were was fortuitous, really.
Absolutely. So I was originally, when my husband and I got married, I started working for the airlines also. So we both
Hmm.
worked for Northwest Airlines. I worked as in the marketing and sales department for Northwest Airlines, but we were trying to start our family. I was traveling a lot. And so, in order to slow life down, I was offered a position at our church. And I thought that would be perfect, a great opportunity to enhance our family planning opportunities. And what I didn't know is I was actually a walking time bomb for the
Mm.
stroke. It was an undetected malformation of blood vessels on the right side of my brain. So I'd had it since birth. And I really think God just protected me through so much. We had actually just come home from a European vacation months before.
Oh,
And
just
so
think if
this
it had
could have
happened
happened.
there.
I could have had it any time.
Oh, wow.
And God allowed me to be in a safe environment in our church with a women's Bible study going on down the hall when this happened.
Yeah.
And so, things don't just happen for any reason. He truly does protect us. And I feel like, we can look at things with a glass half full or a glass half empty. And we can easily get stuck in the things we can't control, but we always have control of our reaction to our circumstances. And part of that is just moving forward.
Yeah. And you have a kind of a favorite verse, James 1, 2 through 4. You want to talk about that?
Yes, yes, I have a lot of favorite verses.
I bet you do.
James 1, 2, 4 is, but actually, I would like to actually tackle two, if I can, Jeremiah 29:11 through 14,
Okay.
which is in my book choices, because, and the reason I like to tackle that is it's so popular to talk about Jeremiah 29:11. We see it on
Mm-hmm.
graduation and signs everywhere, but many people don't go on to read the whole verse of 11 through 14, because we stop with, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future, which he does. But we don't continue with, then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You'll seek me and find me when you seek me with your whole heart. And I think that's the key, is seeking him with your whole heart, because you will find him in the trials and the tribulations when you keep seeking him.
Yeah. Let's talk more about your book. What kind of motivated you to write Choices?
Yes, ma'am. So after my stroke, 8 years post-stroke, we chose to embark on an international adoption. We had always supported the mission of Compassion International. We had always had kids through Compassion, so that's what uh, made our choice of international. But we just felt, because of my disability, I had developed epilepsy from the stroke. We felt it was a good choice to go an adoption route. And we really felt like giving older children a forever family that might not have a family opportunity was what we were called to do. And so at this point, we had adopted 8 years post-stroke. And when my book came out many years later, we had gone through quite a journey of parenting children that had been through quite a lot of trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in the middle of the pandemic, and I was in the quietness of the pandemic, and a lot had happened by then with stroke recovery and adoptive parenting. And I really just felt like it came down to choices. We all have challenges we go through, but God kept just reminding me it's the choice we make through those challenges that make a difference. And so the book is called Choices. When you're faced with a challenge, what choice will you make? And really, I use that all the time. And I'm so grateful that he allowed that title, because it truly is about choices. And as I've continued to face health challenges, and even though my children are out of the house and we're empty nesters,
Mm-hmm.
your support of adult children never end. And so it's always a choice.
Oh, that is exactly right. Back to your stroke recovery days, though, it can be a long and uncertain road. And what were some of the biggest challenges you faced? in those early
Oh, yes,
days.
ma'am. Just the obvious for any stroke survivor is it's just the physical recovery. And from the very beginning, when I first woke up, I was in a 17-day drug-induced coma. I had emergency brain surgery at the very beginning, and I was in a coma. When I woke up, I had no movement whatsoever. I had to learn to swallow again. I had to learn to sit up again. So everything from the very beginning was new. And so, from just a perspective standpoint, I went from a very independent, corporate driven mindset, female, to one that had absolutely no movement at all. And because I'm a type A personality, perfectionist, people pleaser, I still remember those days of laying in bed thinking, okay, am I going to push the call button for the nurse to come roll me over and possibly bother her? Or am I going to lay here uncomfortable because that's just my personality? And so, and showers, you don't take a shower alone. That doesn't exist. So you lose all sense of modesty
Mhm.
overnight. So there's so many things people don't think about or realize. Even today, I drive. I'm independent enough to drive, but I don't drive on the highways to downtown events. I don't do any of my events alone. And so people don't realize that every single thing that God calls me to do entails me asking someone to help me. And so even today, 23 years later, I have a lot of and it's not even a pride thing, it's just a need for help. And that's only on the physical side. There's the whole emotional side of identity and security, and then the grief of what you lost that you have to heal from.
Oh, sure, sure. So much more I want to talk to you about, though. Lori, when we come back, we're going to take a quick break, though, first, and then we'll be back to talk more with Lori Vober about her recovery from the stroke so many years ago, decades ago now, and in life as an adoptive mom. So stay with us.
For anyone that's in the car buying mode or looking for a car right now or a truck, I would definitely come by Island Samuels, get to know the people here like I have, how well I'm taking care of the dealership and how well, service and any kind of warranty issues or those sort of things. Because of the way they take care of me, it's made me a Ram driver. And so I don't think they'd want to go anywhere else if they came here.
Like Alan Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Alan Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
And we're back with Lori Vober, who has written a book called Choices, and she talks about her recovery from a hemorrhagic stroke. Am I saying that right? But you were a
Yes,
young
ma'am.
woman. You're 23 years old when that happened. You were young.
I'm 29.
29. You're still very, very young. And what role did your family play in your recovery? I know you're an only child, right? And so your
Yes.
your parents were very, very helpful in all that, and also in the parenting too. And so let's talk a little bit about that, and of course your wonderful husband and how supportive he's been.
Absolutely. Both my parents and my husband have been extremely helpful. The unfortunate couples go through unplanned hard challenges, especially medical challenges, is high.
Mhm.
And so I do not take it for granted at all that my husband and I not only have a good marriage, but we have a thriving, amazing marriage. And we work really hard at that. And we are to the point of he's not my caregiver. We yell at each other, we laugh, we are a normal couple. And I think for any couples or individuals listening to this, for them to hear clearly that as a survivor, that's what we want. We really don't want our spouses to be our caregivers. We want to get to a point where we just have that normal relationship again. Sometimes it's necessary for our spouses to be our caregivers, but that's not truly, I don't think, any of our heart's desire. My husband was blessed to, in some ways, have grown up with a mom who battled cancer much of his life. And I do think that contributes to his ability to understand me in that way. My parents have a very protective role of me, which is good and hard. But I do think they're very loving and compassionate and supportive because I'm their only child.
And they followed you there to Phoenix as well, right?
Yes, ma'am, they did.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am, they did.
Well, and as you say, your husband, he saw that kind of care from his dad for his mom modeled for him.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I want to go back to that James scripture though, about perseverance, and how did that become meaningful to you?
Oh, I think I really think God gave perseverance and resilience to me as one of the greatest gifts He's given me. You know, that and His strength to keep moving forward. Because I don't think from the very beginning, people used to ask me, "Did you ever get depressed? Did you ever doubt?" And I really don't think I did as much as I could have because of his gift of perseverance. I always had a goal in mind. I remember from the beginning, I was like the Energizer bunny that never ran out of batteries, and I drove my family nuts with that concept. And because I was less tired than they were most of the time, but it was always a goal in mind. First, it was the goal of when I woke up, I still had the mindset of wanting to be a mom, and yet only half my body worked.
Mhm.
So it was from the very beginning, how are we going to get me mobile enough to be a mom? And then from the very beginning of recovery, it was again working towards that goal. And then once I was able to be a mom, it was continuing recovery to be active to be a mom. We then adopted 3 children that were 6, 8, and 10. They had no idea when we picked them up from Colombia, South America, that they were being adopted by a disabled mom. They had expectations of a mom that was going to play soccer with them and sports with them. So then it became keeping up with 3 children. So there was always a goal in mind. So I think the perseverance that God gave me was always to keep up with the goals and the passions that He placed in my heart. And even today, He constantly has placed goals in my heart and passions in my heart to keep going. And I think what's hard many times for those of us that have health challenges is just that monitoring of when our body doesn't keep up with our passions, how to just stay in sync with His plan versus our plans.
And it was a conscious decision from you both to adopt older children because you knew that an infant, and that's just a whole nother level of athletic ability you need to have for sure with tiny
Yes, yes,
babies. So these children were already a little bit older, but then that brings their own challenge. They spoke no English, right?
right, correct, correct.
And there were really 5 in the whole family, right? So there were 2 older siblings, and you really didn't want to separate siblings, but it just worked out this way.
It did, and they were adopted. The other 2 were adopted by another family, and we were able to put them back together once they were in the United
Oh,
States.
good.
So the kids saw each other twice a year,
Oh, that's
and
great.
so the kids were all together. I think like anything in life, you don't know what you don't know till you don't know, and it's almost like siblings. My husband and I were both only children, and so we wanted to adopt um, and have a bigger family. We knew we wanted a bigger family because we were both only children and we both felt lonely our entire lives
Mm.
until we adopted siblings and we realized they didn't even like each other half the time. And we both looked at each other many times, my husband and I, and thought, is this really what siblings were like? And we thought we were lonely our entire life. So, yeah,
Yeah.
the grass is always greener on the other side until, you
hmm
experience it. And
hmm
and that's just life, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And and raising any kind of any kind of a kid is a challenge. I mean, it's got a challenge, but especially when culturally they're coming from a different background, and you really don't know what kind of trauma they've
Right,
experienced in those early
right.
years and the imprint that that has. So I'm sure you had to really rely on your faith and rely on prayer to get through really hard times with those kiddos.
Absolutely, absolutely. It taught me so much. It truly did. And I think even now, I am learning more now than even than I did when I was parenting. Because I think sometimes when you're parenting, just like when you're in the middle of any journey, whether it's a health journey, a parenting journey, when you're in the thick of it and the thick of your own trauma from what you're doing, you don't have time to think. You're just doing what you have to do, but it's afterwards when you really reflect, and you reflect on God's goodness and what you've learned from it. That's when you learn so much more. And I think that's where the purpose has come for me, is to take every challenge that he's given me from stroke recovery and adopt a parent and use it as a possibility. And that's why I am passionate about encouraging others from the journey of challenges that God has taught me from.
For sure. So, in the few minutes we have left, I want to talk about what are some of the signs of a stroke? What are the
Yes.
let's go through that. I know you share that.
Oh, I appreciate that so much. So the acronym to be aware of, because I had no idea, which again is another miracle from God. At age 29, the signs of a stroke, and I'm lucky to be alive, and the fact that I actually got help is be fast. That is just to remind you that if you see anything with your if your balance is off in any way, if your eyes look like they're drooping, or either your eyes are going anyway, if your face, many times your face could be drooping, like your mouth could be drooping. Um, uh, and A is your arms or your legs. If
hmm
your arms or your legs are weak, and uh, S is your speech. If you're slurring your words, which I was slurring my words, and time is of the essence, especially if it's a blood clotting stroke. If it's a TIA, they can give you medicine to possibly stop that if you're within the right amount of time. And so it's better to call 911 and be wrong and not be having a stroke than to wait too late. So time is of the essence. So just remember, be fast. And if you can remember that acronym, then hopefully you'll remember what that means.
Oh, that is such a great reminder. I mean, we always need to remember that in case maybe you're having lunch with someone who begins to exhibit these symptoms. As you say, time really is of the essence for recovery for a stroke victim, for sure. So, how can folks get a copy of your book, Choices?
Yes, ma'am. The best way is to go on my website, which is lorivober.com, and all my books are on my website. Choices was the first one, and then I have 15 compilations that have now been published. They're all on my website. And if you would also like to find me on Facebook, I would like to mention that every May and every October are stroke awareness months. And so I do publicize a lot of statistics and awareness of stroke for the community on my Facebook and Instagram those months, to try and make the community more aware of signs and statistics of stroke to stay healthy.
Well, I'm so grateful you had some time to spend with me today, Lori, to talk about your journey and really just to rejoice that your life definitely was spared for a really, really higher purpose. And so thank you so much.
Oh, I truly appreciate you having me on. Thank you so
Okay, next
much.
time you're in Waco, and I'll be coming to Phoenix before too long. So I might have to look
appreciate
you
it.
up.
I would love that. Thank you again for having me on.
All right. Well, you have a great day. Thank you so much, Lori Vober. Stay with us. There is more of the show ahead.
This is a Rogue Media Network production.